Alright guys, so today's lesson is 7.8, fractions and decimals. And the objective of this lesson is to rename fractions as decimals and decimals as fractions. And when we do this, we're going to be using a visual to help us with the renaming. So before we go into today's lesson, I kind of want to bring you back to a reminder when we were doing place value. You've seen this grid before in one of my videos, and you know that this is the tenths grid. It's broken into 10 pieces, and then this is the hundredths grid, which is broken into 100 pieces. And we're going to use these grids to help us convert our fractions into decimals. So let's start by working with the 10th grid. And I'm just going to shade in one of the bars, okay? And so what fractional part of the square is shaded in? Well, we have 1 of the 10, or 1/10 of the whole is shaded in, okay? If we were to write that as a decimal, it's pretty much just 1/10. And if you think your 10th place is right after the decimal point, so 1/10 is the equivalent to 1/10. Let's do another one. Let's say I wanted to shade in 3 bars this time. Okay, so I got 3 bars shaded in. If I were to write this as a fraction, there are 3 of my 10 pieces shaded in. Remembering that 10 is my numerator, or excuse me, my denominator, because there are 10 pieces in all that make up a whole. My 3 is my numerator, my top number, because there are only 3 pieces of the 10 shaded in. Okay, just to kind of remind that that's how that fraction is set up. So if I have 3/10 of my fraction shaded in, then my decimal, if I have my place, my decimal point, I'm going to have 3 in my tenths place, which is going to be equal to 3/10. Okay, it's rather simple once you really think about it. If you know your place value, it's going to be really easy to convert them from decimals to fractions. Alright, so the next one we're going to do is we're going to use the hundreds grid. And let's say let's start with a simple one. I have only 1 shaded in. My fraction is going to be 1 over 100. Now it's not over 10 anymore, because if you notice, my whole number is 100 because there are 100 pieces, and I only have 1 of my 100 shaded in. Okay, if I'm going to write this as a decimal, it's going to look something like this. So I have my decimal point. I have a 0 in my tenths place because I don't have any tenths filled in, and a 1 in my hundredths place. Okay, remember that that is my hundredths place. If we look back at what I showed you here, my hundredths place. So 1 in my hundredths place is equal to 1 over 100, or 1/100th. Okay, let's try another one. So what if I shaded, let's see, 20, let's do 24. The 24 shaded in. So my whole is going to be 100. I'm going to have my 100 in my denominator because I have 100 pieces total, and I have shaded in 24 of my hundredths. So my fraction would look like 24 over 100, and if I wrote it as a decimal, it would be 24, and my 4 is going to end up in my hundredths place. So 24 hundredths. 24 over 100. Okay, we're going to work with this some more. You are going to have a Google form where it's going to show you a picture, and you have to figure out what the fraction is and then what it would be equivalent, what the equivalent would be for the decimal. This completes today's lesson. Go ahead and fill the Google form on Google Classroom, and then there will be some math games for you to practice with after you finish the Google form.